All of you who are watching this video probably have been rocking with me since my other YouTube channel, After Prison Show. And from that YouTube channel to this YouTube channel, Joe Does Stuff, and you have probably been rocking with me for a long time. So if you have been rocking with me for a long time, you know that my wife and I, we have been struggling to have a child, struggling to have a family. The only way that having a family was even going to be possible for us was through IVF, in vitro fertilization, and we've gone through IVF now 5 times. 5 times. I remember when we first started this journey how, we were going to this one doctor and, they give you some statistics. They say your first chance, the first time you've got like a 40% chance, the second time you got like a 45, and the third time you got like, a 47 or something like that. Those are not the exact numbers, but, they always make it seem like the more you do it, the better the chances of it actually working are. And I'm not sure if there's any real science behind that or if it's just a monetary thing. Like once they get you in there, if it doesn't work, you're going to go through anything that you can in an effort to try to make it work. Me and my wife have gone through IVF 5 times. Imagine going through this the first 3 times and that not working, and then going through it for a 4th time, feeling like, man, it's got to work. If our chances 1 through 3 only improved every time, well, number 4, it's got to work. And it didn't. But number 5 has worked. And I stopped myself right here because I don't know what I really want to say next. I remember when we went through this the very first time, and I made a video pretty shortly thereafter. We were only a couple of weeks into this, into the first round. And mind you, every time that we did this, it worked except for the 4th time. The 4th time did not work at all. Number 1, 2, and 3, my wife got pregnant every single one of those times. On the 4th time, she did not. Or if she did, the pregnancy did not last longer than like a couple of days. She probably didn't even make it a week. But the first time was the worst time, and I made a video shortly thereafter for After Prison Show called something like, I'm gonna be a father. And man, I was so excited for that, and obviously it all turned out bad because within 5 or 6 weeks, I can't remember how long it was, we were going to these weekly doctor appointments, and then all of a sudden, everything was fine, and then these people, these doctors would just be like, well, there's no heartbeat now. After we had heard a heartbeat and all this other shit, and like the week prior, and they just told it to us so monotone, like just, hey, no heartbeat. It's you're no longer pregnant. And man, I will never forget like how bad that destroyed my wife. It destroyed me too. I mean, we were both super upset during that time. And we would just keep trying. And the second time that we did it, she got pregnant, she carried it, the pregnancy lasted for a little bit, and then, it was basically just a repeat of the first time, the second time, the third time, but not the 4th time, because like I said, it didn't work. It didn't seem to work at all the 4th time. The 5th time, it has worked. And my wife is now out of her first trimester and, approaching, 20 weeks? Something like that? My wife is pregnant and I'm going to be a father. And this is something that I have struggled with and gone back and forth with myself about wanting to share with you and how I would share this with you. But here we are. Probably could have done it 100 ways different and better, but this is it. My wife has made it out of the first trimester, which, they say is the most risky part of the pregnancy. And if you make it out of the first trimester, the chances of a successful pregnancy are almost, I don't want to say almost guaranteed, but they're a lot better. And the chances of it not working out are slim. My wife wants to be able to announce this, and she wanted to wait for me to announce it. And I said, I will announce it anytime that you want to announce it. So we decided that today was going to be the day that we announce it. I'm going to be a father. This child, my child, will be born right before Christmas. And man, if this don't change everything, this turns my whole world completely upside down. I'm a dude who had pretty much come to terms with the fact that I was never going to be a father. And now at 40 years old, after 5 rounds of IVF, we have invested a lot of money into our family. After 5 rounds of IVF this time, it has worked. And in December, my son will be born. I mean, this is crazy. We already got a name picked out for him. William will be his legal name. Or Liam. My wife loves Liam. I like William. I don't know a lot of Williams. The Williams that I do know, I think William is a very strong name, a very intelligent name. We had a lot of ideas for names, and William was the name that we came up with. Liam is the name that my wife loves, like the end of William. And little Liam will be here in December. How fucking crazy is that? Like I said, this changes a lot of things for me personally, and it changes a lot of things just for me and my wife and our life. And we'll do so in such a great way, a way that, my wife has, I can't explain to you how much my wife has just wanted to be a mother. Any woman would just want to be able to bring a child into the world, their very own child into the world. And my wife gets that opportunity to do so, and I get the opportunity to be a father. And I think to myself so many crazy things in relation to this. And one of those things is, in 3 or 5 years from now, my son is going to be seeing all of these videos that I've done. Where, if social media is still here in that amount of time, what will he think of me now, 5 years, and then later in 10 years, I don't know if YouTube will be here 10 years from now, but when he's actually getting to be old enough to actually understand and, form his own opinions about people and things and shit like that, what is he going to think of me? I think when I grew up, my father, my family, I don't have a day-by-day video diary of things that I can look back and see, like my parents. My child, my son, will have that. And sometimes I really catch myself thinking, what is he going to think of this? What kind of person is he going to be? I think how crazy I am. And of course I want to, be an amazing father. I want to give my child an amazing life. Ultimately, that's the only thing that matters. And I think this is just so crazy. I'm going to be a father. And I wanted to tell you guys about that. I wonder how long I'll be around in my child's life. How long will I live? What will my child grow up to be? What will he want to be? Will he be athletic? We've seen ultrasound video or ultrasounds, and he's got long legs. for being just a little 2-inch entity right this second. I mean, he's probably bigger than that. He was 2 inches like the last time. I think like how messed up some kids are these days. I think about school shootings. I think about all sorts of shit. I think about weird kids. And I don't want my child to be any of that. I would, oh shit. See, now this is stuff like, hey, you know what? If my child is weird and that's what he wants to be, so be it. I want to raise him right. I want him to be a respectful child. But I look at myself and I'm like, holy shit, man, I ain't respectful. Look at all the trouble that I got in my life. Like, does my son run the risk of going down a similar path as me? And I would hope not. You know, as much as I feel like I'm filming this and I'm sharing it with all of you, I can't help but to feel like I'm filming this. And at some point, you know, my son is going to see this. And I just hope that if he does, and when he does, and if he sees it and it still exists, at a time when he's old enough to form his own opinions, I hope he likes me. And I hope he's proud of me. I hope he's able to understand like the journey that I went through in an effort to get where I am. And I hope he understands that I was always trying to get further for my wife, for my life, and now for my family, for my son. And I think to myself, and I'm going to go super philosophical, I'm already getting there with all of this, like super, you know, just crazy. But I think to myself, you know, where will I be by the time my son does see this and is able to understand this? Will I still be here first and foremost? And I hope that I am. I hope I'm around for a good portion of my son's life. I think by the time my son is 18 years old, I will be almost 60. Hope I live that long and longer. And I wonder if I'll have accomplished all of the things that I try to accomplish. And I don't even know what that is. Just more and more success is the best that I can say about what it is I'm trying to accomplish for my family, for us. I'm trying to leave something to my son. I hope I'm able to do that. But anyways, I can't even begin to tell you like how I feel about all of this. I'm super blessed. I'm super excited to meet my son, to see my son. Do I introduce my son to y'all? Do I introduce my son to social media? Like these questions. He could have his own Ryan's Toy Review channel that does $1 billion in revenue a year. Like, I'm going to be a father. That's the short of it. And after 5 rounds of IVF, it's finally worked. And real quick, I didn't even mention this. It was probably really important. We switched doctors after the 4th time. Went to a new doctor who, you know, had nothing really good to say about the first doctor. And sure as shit, one time with them, it actually worked. And you think to yourself, you went 4 rounds at this other doctor and it didn't work. We should have switched sooner. That's just the type of stuff that you think. But if we would have switched sooner, would we be in the position that we're in right now, where inside of my wife's belly, my son, Liam, currently resides and is growing? We probably wouldn't be. Shit's about to change in such a positive way. And I just wanted to share this with you guys.